So I thought we'd have a little rundown of the budget. What it actually cost to build the builder's van. So I've got the spreadsheet which I started when I started building it. Just hold various bits of information. Also the cost of everything, and I also put a little piece on there to say I've ordered something and when it's arrived, so I can keep a check on what I'm waiting for, what I've got, what I haven't got. Yeah, so let's have a little run through. I've sort of broken it down into various sections. So I've got electrics, appliances, insulation and vapour, which is vapour barrier, flooring and walls, extras, and I've also got a little piece on there. I've got my wiring connections, which I did on the van just to keep a track of where the fuses are, what they do, and all that kind of thing, and what colour the wires are. So let's have a look. If we start at the beginning, electrics. So what I've got on the van, I've not got, or rather what I've not got on the van, I've not got any solar, so that's one big sort of saving really. Mainly because we tend to stay on campsites which have got a hookup, so we don't do any, or not much, wild camping or anything. You still really have a need for any solar. So all I've got is the smart charger when you're actually driving, just to keep the battery topped up, and that is a Sterling Power 30 amp. That's 12 volt to 12 volt, obviously battery to battery. That came from simplysplitcharge.co.uk. That was no, I didn't. In the end, I actually got that off eBay because it was a bit cheaper. Yeah, that was somebody who bought one. That's right, and not used it. So it was brand new, basically, never been used, still in the packaging and everything. So yeah, I actually got that for £97.50. I think from Simply Split Charge that was £160 something. Yeah, so that was that. And I got a mains charger. That did come from Simply Split Charge. That was £115. That was a Durite 0-647-20. So that's a 20 amp split charger, which runs off the mains. Split charger, mains charger, and battery maintainer, which runs off the mains. So it'll run off the hookup when we're hooked up. I bought a Ledger battery. That was £114. I can't remember where I got that from now. That probably came off eBay. No, it didn't. No, sorry, God, my memory is bloody atrocious. That came from a little sort of camping place in Dis, which is a town near where I live. I can't even remember what they're called. They've got a strange name, but that's up near the railway station. Anyway, yeah, that came from there. That was what did I say, £114, and that was I think it was 110 amp hour battery. I haven't actually put that on here. I've put the one I was going to get on here, which was 125. Yeah, I think that's 110 or 120 amp hour, which is sufficient for what we use. And there was a consumer unit. That was $48.99. That did come off eBay. Now, the consumer unit, you really need to make sure you get double pole MCBs, which that one is, and RCDs. It's just to ensure if you go on a site you get reverse polarity. It's just to make sure it's still going to work okay. Yeah, so I've got one of those. That just had a 25 amp RCD, a 10 amp and a 6 amp MCB, and like I say, they're double pole. And then there's various things like some flexible conduit I bought, which was £7. That came from Wix. That was 5 meters of that. That was the solid flexible stuff, is what I mean. Hasn't got a split down it. Now I did, fortunately, when I bought the van, that did come with. If you have a look at the first video, you'll see me stripping it down and what was actually inside it. There was a lot of stuff in there, a lot of wires which I reused. There was also a lot of this split conduit which I reused, so that sort of saved quite a bit of money really doing that. What else have we got here? Excuse me. 240 volt hookup socket, that was £12.49. That came off eBay. 240 volt outlet, oh yeah, the CBE, the little CBE sort of flash 240 outlets. Got a couple of those. They were $33.70, although in the end I only fitted, because they were two double ones, I only actually fitted them with a single one, and on the other side of one of them I put a 12 volt like a cigarette lighter outlet, and the other one was a USB charger. So that was that. Couple of lots of 12 volt twin core 16 amp. I used 16 amp throughout. I didn't bother to step it down for anything. Like for lights, you don't need that much. It was just cheaper to actually buy a roll, and that was bought 30 meter roll of that, and also later on another 5 meter 5 meter coil. So the 30 meter was £23.99. That came off eBay, and the 5 meter was £6.45. But like I say, I used a lot of the other wires off the wiring I took out of the system that was in there. Isolator switch 869. Earth bus bar was 1139. So LEDs, again I reused a couple of LED lights which were in the van, so that saved a little bit. I did get some nice LED strips. They were 2.5 meter long. You can just cut them down to whatever you want, and they were $15.50 each. Lead strip channel, that was $12.95. That's just the aluminium like extrusion that sits in. A couple of spotlights, which I only used one in the end. They were $11.56 for the pair. USB socket, $12.99. The USB outlet socket for the CBE unit, that was $13.99. The reason I got that was because it had a built-in on-off switch. However, slight problem with it is that by default, when you turn the power on, the 12 volt power, it comes on, which is not what I really wanted. So in the end, I put it off a separate switch with another USB outlet. So that kind of didn't work quite how I wanted it to. Voltmeter, $10.99. Got a nice little switch panel, $4.99. Most of this stuff came off eBay. 12 volt pump. I've got a little inline whale. Is it whale? I think it was whale. Inline pump rather than a submersible. Yeah, that was $24.85. Reversing camera, got that off eBay. That was $16.44. And if you're going to put a reversing camera in, that's probably one of the first things you want to do, because the wire generally has to run right from the front to the back. So you want to be getting that wire in straight away, really, before you start doing anything. Rocker switches, 1070, switch panel, 5-gang switch panel, 645. Was that the one with the LEDs in it? I can't remember. That seems rather cheap for one with LED switches in it, but yeah, perhaps that is that one. Couple of extra rocker switches with LEDs, £9.10. Yeah, things like the heater, the diesel heater. See, that was already fitted in the van, so I didn't have to buy one of them. So that was another big saving, really. What else have we got? Just some conduit, elbows, saddles for the conduit. That's the hard plastic round stuff I used. Right, so total for electrics is £690.94, which I didn't think was too bad. Obviously, like I say, it would have been more if you have stuff like your solar panels, things like that. Yeah, so that's the electrics. Right. Oh yes, the other thing I was going to say on this spreadsheet, the other thing I did was I kept a record of what everything, or what most things weighed. Obviously insignificant things I didn't bother with, but sort of a lot of the things I actually kept a tally of the weight, so at the end I could just add all that up and kind of get a rough calculation of what the van is going to weigh. Yeah, so my added weight in kilograms of everything I've put in the van, including all the wood and appliances, everything, is 471 kilos. According to the V5, the mass in service, is 2,057 kilos, so that should give me a total weight of 2,528 kilos. But I will still go to a public weighbridge and when I've completely finished and got it loaded up, just to see what that weighs. So we'll see how close I am with that. Yeah. Right, so that's electrics. Right, now appliances. So what we've got here is a 12-volt fridge. So that is a compressor fridge. That was an Alpicool CF35, so it's a 35 litre, 12 or 24 volt, 5 amp. That will also plug into the 240. There is a separate adapter for that, but I intend just to run off the 12 volt all the while. That came off eBay. That was £182, which I think that was about the cheapest one I could find, or the cheapest one in the style that I liked that I could find. It's a lift up lid one. 12 volt TV, and that was one of those what are they called, cello, however you pronounce that. That was one of those. That was £164.95. That came off eBay as well. Got a TV mount. That was £20. That came from Wix. It's not a swivel one. I had a swivel one in the motorhome and found that was just a pain in the neck. This is more of just a fixed onto the wall one, which yeah, that seems to work quite well. Hob and sink. That was a Dometic 9222. That was £260. So I've got columns here that I put down when I was first pricing things up, of prices from different places, and then I obviously picked the one which was best. Like from Clear Cut Camper Design, that was £301 for that same sink. So yeah, it does pay you shop around. The tap with which got the 12 volt little switch in it, that was £19.35. That came off eBay. I got a Thetford toilet 365. That for interest only weighs 4 kilos. That's quite light, really. That was £81.95. Grey tank was £95. Fixing hook, for some reason I haven't put the price on here for that. I missed that one off, unless I'll probably I've probably put that somewhere else. Yeah, fixing strap and J hooks, they weren't a lot of money anyway. I think the J hooks were about £5, they were a pack of J hooks, and the fixing straps were a few quid each. They would just galvanise what you'd use in a house for wood joinery, for doing your joists and things like that. Water tank, the freshwater tank, that was £54.99. Bulkhead regulator, that was £23. That came from Autocraft, as did the pigtail, which was £11.50. The gas tap, that's your little on-off for your appliance, little on-off tap, that was £17.50. That was from Autocraft. Some copper pipe, 3 meters of copper pipe, that was £11.50. That was also Autocraft. Roof vent. Now I didn't want anything. I know a lot of people fit these. What they call those fancy ones with the fan in and all that. I can't really see the need for it myself. So I just fitted a bog standard, open it up and let the air in roof vent. So that was £49, which obviously is a hell of a lot cheaper than I think I'll come me later what they're called. I can't think what they're called now. But the one I fitted was an MPK Caravan motorhome beige roof vent skylight. Bit of a mouthful. With a fly net, 36 by 32 centimetre. And also got a little mushroom vent to go up the other end, which was £9.99. That was off eBay. A couple of drop vents, £4.85, and that was for the pair. Water inlet cap fitting with a cap on it. That's £13.79. We've got various water pipe, 38mm. That's for the water inlet piece. That was £12.54. Wastewater pipe, 3 meters, 90mm. That was £4.80. That was from Autocraft as well. Some 10mm water pipe, £5.78. That was 3 meters. Then another 2 meters. I don't know why I bought 2 lots for. Must have needed that for something. That was £4.1. Tank connector, 38mm, £7.79. Some of this stuff, I've got two 10mm tank connectors. I think I only used one in the end. They're £5.95. 19mm straight connector, £1.50. What was that for? To connect waste pipe to waste tap. Waste pipe to waste tap. Yeah. A gas locker. I got a I did think about making a gas locker, but when I saw how involved it is really, and you've got to be really good at sealing it up, and they should be metal lined apparently. That was actually cheaper just to buy one, and easier obviously. So I got one that came off eBay. That was £99, which I didn't think was too bad. That's all the seals round it and everything. Lock for the door or key for the door. That was quite a nice little unit. What else I have to buy? Everspatch elbow and pipe, £6.89 and £8.09 for those two. Heater outlet, 60mm, because I broke the existing one. That was £4.54, because obviously there was one in the van. Awning C channel, 2.4 meters, although it's in two 1.2 meter sections. That was £15.99. Gas bowl bracket, £6.95. I've got some vinyl wall tiles, which I only used a few of, £6.33 they were. Drain tap, £8.95. A 10 to 12 mil, 12 to 10 mil reducer, and that was for the fresh water tank, because I couldn't get a 10 millimeter elbow. I could only get a 12 millimeter one, so I had to reduce the pipe for the water pump, because that's 10 millimeter. So that was £3.99. 8 millimeter P clips. They were for the copper pipe, so they're rubber, sort of rubber lined. £3.98. I think that's about 10 of them. I think I only used 4 in the end. A CO2 alarm, that was £13.13. And one of those little TV aerials, which was £8.94. And actually I was really surprised how good that was. We're not in a particularly good reception area here. Got a lot of trees around, and yeah, I'm surprised I actually picked up anything. But yeah, that picked up most of the channels. That was really quite impressive. So total for appliances and also fixtures and fittings for appliances was £1,254.72. Yeah, so that's that lot. Right, insulation and vapour barrier. So this includes things like sound deadening mat, which I didn't use a great deal of. I was quite sparing with that. That was £13.19. I think that was the cheapest I could find on eBay. I didn't bother with all this Dodo stuff. I think that's a little bit overpriced, especially the insulation. You know, the white fluffy stuff. I think they charge a horrendous amount for that when you can pick it up. Well, I'll get to that in my list actually. You can get that from a local supplier. Soundproofing, I've got 2, 3, 4 lots of soundproofing, various sizes. What we've got here: 5 meter length, is that 7 millimeter thick. Have I actually got any in? Did I? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yeah, so it's 500 centimeters long by 100 centimeter wide, 7 mil thick. That was £31. I got 2 of those, so it was £62. Then I got some different stuff, some slightly thinner stuff. Some 5 mil, that was 1 meter by 2.4 meter. That was £19.3. Then I got some more 7 millimeter, another 5 meter roll. And that was £28.96. Obviously found something a bit cheaper somewhere. Right. Yes, insulation. That white fluffy, made from recycled plastic bottles. Yeah, I got that from B&Q. Dial is the make, D-I-A-L-L. I used 6 rolls of that, would you believe? That was £132 altogether. Yeah, that's 6 meter long, 0.37 meter wide, 100 millimeter thick. So a lot of that was actually split in half. Like with the roof, I put some in the roof. I actually split it in half. You know, widthwise. So that was 50 mil thick rather than 100 mil. So it went even further. PIR board. I didn't use a great deal of that. 25 millimeter thick, mainly in the floor. I used some in the walls. 3 of those. So that was £111. That came from Wix actually. That doesn't add much to your weight. That's total 7.86 kilo for 3 of those. Foil. Oh yeah, that's the like the Reflectix stuff. Though I didn't get Reflectix, I got some stuff from Wix. So I got two 600mm by 8m rolls. That was £53. Although in the end I only used one and a bit of that roll. I also got some narrower stuff from B&Q, which was £19. Foil tape, we got through loads of foil tape. What size is that one? 75mm wide by 45. I used 5 of those. So it was £19.50 there and £13 there for some reason. Different price, was it? Oh no, that's right, yeah. So 5 of the 75mm thick and 2 of the 50 thick wide. 2 of the 50mm wide. £10.60. For some reason I put contact adhesive spray in here. I did get some. I tried all various sorts. Did get some with the Carpeton, which will come on to that in a later one. But I also bought some Evo stick, which was pretty good stuff actually. Contact adhesive, that was £11. Also tried some Volden, which was from B&Q. 3 of those, £21, and just some Wix spray adhesive, 1 can of that, which was a £5. Yeah, the Evo stick one was pretty good. Volden one wasn't too bad, but the Wix spray wasn't that great actually. Well, probably because it was only a £5. That's probably why. So, till insulation and vapour, £518.28. Flooring and walls, oh my god. I'm not going to go through the whole list because it's huge. I'll just do a few little highlights, which you're probably relieved about. Right, so windows. I got 2 windows. They came off eBay. They were 700 by 400. They're like the acrylic, sort of like the bubble ones, so they're kind of double glazed almost really, and they've got the little pull down vent, pull down blackout blind, and the bit for the flow screen, pull up flow screen. So 2 of those was £412.78. I think they were the cheapest ones I could find on eBay or from anywhere. Yeah, and they're really good actually. I was quite happy with them. Right, wood. Sawn 25 by 38 floor battens. This is what I used, mostly in the floor and also in some of the other. There was 28 of those in total. Yeah, so to give you an idea, pack of 10, I think that must be a pack of 10, it's £45.60. Yeah, then there's some more sawn, 19 by 38, 20 of those. Sikaflex, I used 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tubes of Sikaflex and 7 tubes of the Sticksol, which is a similar thing, not quite as good as Sikaflex, but it's pretty strong. But it's, when you smooth it out, it's not quite as good as the Sikaflex for smoothing out. Some frame sealant, some expanded foam, timber various I've got there, £19, whatever that was. Right, plywood. When I looked at this at the end, I was shocked really just how much I'd used. Plywood is amazing. There is a list here which is lines, what we've got, lines 19 to 40 is just plywood. So I've got, I didn't put the actual dimensions of this one, I just put plywood 5 and 9mm. £37. I'm not quite sure what size they were, but as an example, 9mm, 1220 by 2440, 3 of those. 12mm, 600 by 1800. That's not exactly, that's a little bit longer, but that's fractions of a millimetre. 3 of those. 9mm, 600 by 1800. 3 of those. Plywood, 6mm, 600 by 1800. 4 of those. Although I think actually, as one of those left over, I didn't think I used one in the end. More plywood, 12mm, 600 by 1200. This is getting towards the end, so I couldn't no longer get the great big sheets in there. Yeah, so I would say if you got the room, which I hadn't got the room to store it, you'd be better off buying the really big sheets. It would work out more cost effective to buy the really big sheets from the start, get a load of that, try and calculate how much you need, and cut the big sheets up, because it's far cheaper to do it that way. Yeah, 12mm, 600 by 1220, 4 of those. So to give you an idea, they're £16 each. The 6mm were £15 each. 9mm, £20 each. Yeah. Plywood, 6mm, 600 by 1200. I only put one one sheet of 18mm, 600 by 1800. That's £27.50. Last 3, 9mm, 600 by 1200. They're £14 each. They were. CLS, which is the about the cheapest timber you can get for sort of constructional timber. Comes in, I think, a 3 metre length or something around that, or 3.2 metre for some strange length they come in. They're £3.50 each, and they're kind of, but not quite 2 by 3, sort of around 2 by 3. But they're really, really useful, really cheap, and quite light, surprisingly light actually. I used 3, 10, 11 of those. God knows where I used that up. Mainly for the bed frame. I think also I used some for the seat unit, yeah, and some uprights. Some plain square edge, 15 by 28 by 1.8. I think that's one piece of that. Plain square edge, 34 by 34 by 2.4 meters. Must be 4 in a pack, 2 by 4 packs. £62. That's how expensive wood is. It never used to be that expensive pre-COVID for some reason. Wood went up during COVID, don't know why. 4 packs of cladding. That's really thin cladding. That's for the ceiling, mainly for the ceiling, and I used the odd bits in the back. Yeah, that was £86 for 4 of those, 4 packs of those. Slats, these for the bed, 18 by 44 by 1.8. Obviously they're cut down a bit. 20 of those, so that was £80 just for bed slats. Screws, no end of screws. I can bore you with that. Carpet, 10 metre. I got 10 metre by 2 metre carpet. I also had some odd bits from when I did my Vivaro. That came with trim fix. That was £80, near enough. Where did I get that from? That was eBay, I think. Yeah, so that came with enough trim fix for it. And I didn't actually use it all. Yeah, I had enough left over to do if you watch the videos, you see a bit of a decision about the back piece behind the bed, whether to carpet that or not, which I didn't do in the end, but I have got enough to do that, plus some there would still be some left over. So that was plenty enough to do that van. Varnish, 4 tins of varnish I used. God knows where that went. Wood glue, hinges, vinyl flooring. That was £50. Plus I spent £20 on another little off cut before I bought that. I thought that might have been enough, but it wasn't. So then I had to buy another roll, which I've got some left over, but I've got a job for that in the house. I can use that up. Hinges, catches, drawer slide. I didn't use that drawer slide in the end. £5. Some strip wood, foam for the headboard. That was £26.99. That was off eBay. Foam for the seat. That's the base and the back. Was £65.53. Mattress. That's a foam mattress I got. With memory foam on top. That was £94. Table, legs and bracket. That came from Clear Cut Campers online. That was $89.60. I think that was in their sale. Some of that was in their sale. I think the table might have been in the sale. Yeah, so that was not too bad, and a lot less hassle than making one, which I was originally going to do. Runners for the fridge, so for the pull-out fridge, I used some heavy-duty runners. They were only $14.49, and they were actually very good. That was repair. Got some angle checker plate for sort of around the for the rear door where the lip is, over the edge of the wood, and also the side door. That's £27. That's quite expensive for a bit of aluminium. Velcro, that's to fit the seat on, and a few other little jobs, or the seat back. £25.90, and some storage nets and things like that. So grand total, ready for this. Flooring and walls. This is mainly wood, don't forget, apart from windows. £2,170.08. Yeah. Right, and I've got extras. So these are bits that I couldn't think to put anywhere else for some reason. I've got a swivel seat base on here, but I didn't actually get that in the end. So that's, I've marked that off, haven't added that in. Right, spare wheel carrier. The one is supposed to be a spare wheel carrier underneath the Ducato, but a lot of time they get removed, as this one had been, so I had to buy one of those. I still get to get a spare wheel, mind you. That was £97, and dead easy to fit. Just a matter of crawling under the van, putting some bolts in. So that's on there now, so I'm ready for a spare wheel. Side door step, I haven't marked it off, received that. Tut tut. Side door step, a little thurl, however you pronounce it. Just a pull out, mechanical pull out one, not an electric one. £144. I do intend putting some front steps on there at some point, and they're really expensive, so I haven't got that yet. Then I have to get a new reversing sensor. That was £35.94 plus a housing for it. Yeah, so there were reversing sensors on there in the yellow rear step, which I removed. So I relocated them into the bumper, but one of the sensors was damaged, so I just had to replace that. So extras came to £276.94. Right, so let's have a little, unless you mathematicians out there have added all that up in your head. Parts total £4,910.96, which I don't suppose is too bad. Not for the size of the van, considering that is a, that is a quite a big van. Certainly a lot bigger than my Vivaro, which cost no anything to do. That was a little over about £1,200, I think, to do that. yeah, when I've seen what other people spend, I don't think that's too bad at all, really. So yeah, really, I would say that's a budget build. My original conversion budget, from the money that I sold my old auto sleeper for, the money I got for that, and what I bought this new van for, although I think I probably did pay a little bit over the top for the van. Yeah, so my original conversion budget was 3,500. So yeah, completely blown that. I thought that might get up to around 4 or something, but yeah, I wasn't quite expecting nearly 5. But there we are. That's the total cost of converting that van. £4,910.96. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Please like and comment, because it does help with the views. I don't seem to get very many views on, especially on this campervan stuff. But then my channel is mainly motorbikes, so in fact I wasn't even going to video any of this conversion. It was only a friend of mine who mentioned that I was telling him about it. I was going to do the van, and he said, "Oh, he said that might be quite interesting to watch that." So, yeah, Alex, that's all your fault. Yeah, there we are. So, yeah, the van is almost completed. There's just a few little fiddly bits to do. I've got a little bit of painting to do, which I'm waiting for some warmer weather for. And a little bit of undersealing I want to do, a little bit of tidying up underneath, but again, it all needs warm weather, which we just haven't got at the moment. So yeah, thanks again for watching.